What's up, Odooers, and welcome back. Today, we're learning about how two sister companies in the same database can order and pay each other without needing the receipt to manually retype their order. For example, Stealthy Wood, a furniture company based in the United States, wants to buy wooden planks from its Canadian sister company, Stealthy Pine. This is what it looks like in Odoo. A purchase order, aka PO, is confirmed in Stealthy Wood. A matching quotation is then automatically created in Stealthy Pine. From there, Stealthy Pine salespeople confirm and initiate the delivery of the items. Then Stealthy Pine invoices Stealthy Wood, which automatically creates a bill for Stealthy Wood. Stealthy Wood then pays the vendor bill, and the transaction is complete. Each employee in each company can only see their own documents. Entries are also posted in the correct journals for each company. For context, our video covers the commercial trade layer, which is the trade of goods and services, so we're mostly talking about sales and purchase orders, and we'll also gloss over the fiscal layer like bills and invoices. For a deeper dive on the fiscal layer, feel free to check out our multi-company accounting video, and that goes into detail about how to share accounts in a multi-company setting. Anyways, enough chit-chat, let's jump into it. For today's demo, we need to make sure we have the contacts, sales, accounting, purchase, and inventory apps installed. All of these are used for tracking vendors, customers, orders, invoices, and stock. Next, we want to make sure we're in the Stealthywood company and begin the setup. If we didn't have this America background telling us which company we're currently in, then we'd have to go to the top right and click down on this company picker and make sure we're in Stealthywood, which is indicated by that purple highlight. Now that we know we're in Stealthywood, let's go ahead and open up the Settings app. And if we scroll down to our company section right here, we can see that we've already added two companies. For how to do that, Odooers, feel free to check out our multi-company basics tutorial. Then we want to make sure we have our intercompany transaction feature ticked and enabled. And at the bottom, we will also want to make sure we have create as set to Odoo bot. That makes Odoo post every intercompany document with the system user, while the original sales order or purchase order still shows who confirmed it, giving us a clean audit trail. Now, make sure we're configuring only as the buyer company. So to do that, we're going to click the top right and then select our company picker and disable Stealthy Pine. And then click confirm. For the configuration, make sure create vendor bills and create purchase orders are enabled. Selecting create purchase orders generates an RFQ in Stealthywood when Stealthy Pine confirms a quote. And then selecting create vendor bills generates a bill in Stealthywood if Stealthy Pine confirms an invoice. Quick testing tip to test the entire flow, always start with commercial documents such as sales orders or purchase orders. When you confirm those, we can always push forward and create the linked invoice or vendor bill in the fiscal layer. The reverse isn't true. If you begin creating an invoice or bill, we can't easily back generate a sales or purchase order. I also left the use operation field set to the default receipt operation. Only change this if you truly have a different process for receiving intercompany shipments, which is unlikely for most teams. Now for Stealthywood's purchase journal, directly above, choose a dedicated intercompany purchase journal. And to take a look at this, let's also click this internal link arrow to take a deeper look. Keeping cross-company expenses in one place keeps consolidation and audit work simple. Your accountants probably have a very specific way of configuring the journals and accounts, as well as the currency, which sets a default currency for each transaction. Since our companies use different currencies, we're going to leave ours blank for maximum flexibility. In the default expense account, we can also create a separate purchase account, and we'll also take a deeper look into this one here. And on the account, we've made sure to type expenses in the type field. And we also have our company set to Stealthywood. With the intercompany purchase journal set up, we'll have the card appear on the accounting app's dashboard. Next, we'll configure the settings for the seller company. Let's open up our company picker once again and switch over to Stealthy Pine. Once we're in Stealthy Pine, we're just going to scroll back down to our intercompany transactions feature, and we want to make sure create sales order is ticked and enabled. Selecting Create Sales Orders generates a quote in Stealthy Pine when Stealthy Wood confirms an RFQ. This is what we'll use in the demo. In Odoo, confirming a bill does not create an invoice. Typically, the seller charges the buyer and the buyer records the cost in their journal. So it doesn't make sense for the buyer to have a bill before the seller creates an invoice. In our Use Warehouse field, this determines which warehouse we're delivering from. In Stealthy Pines Company, we've also created an intercompany sales journal to keep sales from another company separate from our other sales. To access that, we just got to go to the accounting application, click configuration at the top, followed by journals. And then right off the bat, we can see our intercompany sales journal, so we'll click into it. As we can see here in the company field, this is selected for Stealthy Pine. The default income account field is set to a separate sales account, and let's also use our internal link to check this out. We have the type set to income, and the company's is set to only Stealthy Pine, and we left the currency blank so it can be either USD or CAD. With the intercompany sales journal created, a card was also created on the Stealthy Pines accounting dashboard. Next, let's configure the price list and make sure they match the currency since we're trading between countries. We're going to click into the sales app, click products at the top, followed by price lists. And while we're here, we're going to select our company picker at the top and we're going to enable both companies and then simply click confirm. We have a total of 4 price lists, one for Canadian dollars and US dollars for both companies. We need multiple price lists for a company if we plan to buy or sell in different currencies. Now, for Stealthy Pine, we'll set up our customer, Stealthy Wood, in the Contacts app. Then all we have to do is jump to the Contacts app here, click on Stealthy Wood, and then we're going to click into our Sales and Purchase tab. Here in the Sales section, we want to make sure the price list field is set to Stealthy Pine CAD. This ensures that when Stealthy Pine creates a quote for Stealthy Wood, it sets the price list to Canadian dollars. Next, we'll open up the company picker again, but this time we're going to switch over to Stealthy Wood. We'll use the breadcrumbs here at the top to get back to our contacts. And now we're going to select Stealthy Pine. And just like before, we're going to jump to our Sales and Purchase tab. Here, we want to make sure our supplier currency is set to Canadian dollars. This ensures that when Stealthy Wood creates an RFQ for our vendor, Stealthy Pine, the RFQs are issued in Canadian dollars. Next, I'll quickly go over the products we're trading and the warehouse configurations to determine how they're stored. We're going to jump over to the inventory application, and then we're going to click products, followed by products once again. And then here, we're going to check out our starred Pine 2x4 stud. In the company field, we've left this blank, so it's visible to all. Then we can switch over to the Purchase tab here, and we can also see that the vendor is set to Stealthy Pine, and we also have the unit price and delivery lead time set, so these values automatically populate on the purchase order. Next, we'll check out our warehouses, and we'll just click Configuration at the top, followed by, you guessed it, Warehouses. And to make sure the receipt and delivery works properly, we need to make sure there's separate warehouses for each company, and that they're also set on intercompany transactions. For details on setting up a warehouse, check out our Warehouses and Locations tutorial. Now we're ready. I'll open up the company picker and disable Stealthy Pine, and then click Confirm. I'm pretending to be the Stealthy Wood procurement manager, and with my access rights, I can only see Stealthy Wood stuff. So we're going to jump back to the Purchase app, and then click New. We're going to set the vendor to Stealthy Pine, and just like that, our currency is automatically selected to CAD. And we're going to click Add a Product in our Products tab, and then we're going to add that Pine 2x4. Then we're going to set the quantity here to 40. And okay, this looks good. We're just going to click Confirm Order. Let's also go ahead and remember this total since it'll help us keep track of matching the transaction. Now, moment of truth. Let's go see if a quotation was automatically created for Stealthy Pine. A tip for you Odooers: when testing the configuration and switching between companies, have an incognito window open in another company to quickly test the flows. But for us, we're going to open up our company picker here, and we're going to switch over to Stealthy Pine. Now, pretend I'm a person from sales, and I'm going to go into my sales app. And now I'm going to remove the My Quotations filter because the quote was created by Odoo. And here we are. We have our sales order ending in $94. That's the same quote with the same price. So I also see that the customer is Stealthy Wood with our Canadian price list. So I'm going to click into this now. Everything looks good, so I'm going to click Confirm, which starts the delivery process. Now let's also click this Delivery Smart button at the top and verify that we have planks to send, which we do. So now all I have to do is click Validate. And the shipment is on its way from Stealthy Pines warehouse on its way to the Stealthy Wood warehouse. Finally, it's time to demand payment, so we're going to click the sales order breadcrumb and then click Create Invoice. From here, it's going to generate a draft invoice, and all we have to do is click Create Draft. Then in the journal field, I'll specifically choose my intercompany sales journal and confirm that the total and taxes used are correct too. Then, if everything looks good, all we have to do is click Confirm. And now, give me my money, Stealthy Wood. All right, time to go back to Stealthy Wood to process that payment. So we're going to go back to our company picker and jump into Stealthy Wood. And then we're going to navigate over to our accounting application. Here in the accounting app, we can see our intercompany purchases card, and we're just going to click into that. At the top, we see the bill that was just generated from the confirmed invoice from Stealthy Pine, and it's this blue draft right here at the top. All I have to do is click into it, click Confirm, and we are done. And there you have it. To recap the demo, we created a PO from the buyer company, which created a quote for the seller company. Then we created an invoice from the seller company, which created a bill for the buyer company and completed the transaction. I'd like to take note that with our configuration, it would also have worked if we created an SO from the seller and an RFQ would have been created. But the invoice does need to be created first. These are the getting started configuration steps for setting up multi-company transactions. Until the next video, I'll see you later, Odooers.